Hey everybody, it's Brandon, the Ecostruder, and we're here at the first ever... Alright.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rock.
Hi there, Brandon Hart, the Ecostruder, and we are here at the first ever Rocky Mountain Rep Festival. You gotta kind of slow that down because it's hard to say all at once. But we're here. It's the first one that's ever existed. It's really, really well done. So let's go check it out. For people who don't know about Fishy Filaments, what is this material? Why is it special?
Well, that's quite a good example of a pioneering circular economy. It's something what is given in Europe by law. This material is like brand new PA6 because typically a typical shelf life of fishing nets is just about 10 days. Oh. After 10 days, the fishermen should replace all the nets, and you have still very quality material.
Yeah.
And we transferred it into filament for people who want to enjoy mechanical properties of material, and also have a good feeling about they have no moral hangover, let's say.
Have you ever tasted infill before?
No.
This is the best tasting infill that you'll ever see.
The best tasting infill. You heard it right here.
So the only printer that never has a print failure, because all of our print failures are actually just surprise snaps.
Nice. Yeah. What type of nozzle are you using?
Yeah, this is 0.8.
0.8 nozzle.
So you use these chocolate cores. They're made by Ellie. They're sustainably sourced and ethically sourced, so they're slavery free, which is very, very important to us.
Yeah.
You put this in here. This heats up, and then a plunger will extrude it out the bottom. It's really nice because there's actually only 4 pieces of the printer that contact the chocolate, so it's very easy to clean.
Can you tell me about the 5-axis printer?
This is a 4-on-V0 converted to 5-axis with this bed arrangement.
Okay.
So the bed rotates that way, right round to upside down, I believe, on this one, and that way as well.
Ah.
So those are 2 extra axes.
So you're printing a benchy on different sides.
So that's what it's printing at the moment.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. So what do we have going on here? Obviously, you've got a lot of printers, and you've got some bins filled with some vases. What are you showing off?
Yeah, so at 3DQ we automate 3D printing, and we do that through hardware and software. So here's our hardware side. We've got our print farm.
Yeah.
And these printers are tilted, and they've got a special bed on it that releases prints when the bed cools down. So what happens is, when the print is finished, we wait for the bed to cool down. The nozzle comes behind the print and pushes it off. And then the next print begins, so there's no manual intervention required. And all we need to do is essentially keep the filament loaded and collect parts at the end of the day.
Nice.
So these printers have been running for about 24 hours, and the bins have been like completely filled up overnight. People have been taking parts as they go.
Yeah. You're giving these prints away?
We're giving them all away.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your PHA video. Yeah. I've been working with Colorfit for a while with their PHA
the alpha.
filament.
Yeah. That's an interesting
really
material.
Cool. Yeah.
We're actually working with Beyond Plastic right now. They're coming out with some PHA. We've been testing
so
theirs. It's very good.
I think this needs to be something that needs to be promoted, because I think this would be a great material for the future. And
wonderful.
Just making additive manufacturing more sustainable.
Yeah. And how about your filament over here, this non-oiling material?
So for most of people, PLA is not gear because has a very low VCAT, very low softening point. So we wanted to solve both problems together. So that's the blend of PLA plus polyhydroxybutyrate. It's a patented solution. And it has, firstly, excellent mechanical properties, which is given by crystalline polymer PHB. It's food safe. It resists to boiled water. You can use it in a dishwashing machine.
Oh, wow.
So all the negative aspects of PLA are solved with this. The best property of this material is not compostability; it's recyclability.
Oh.
It could be. It's an exception from many polymers. There's just a few which can be recycled without losing mechanical properties or significant losing mechanical properties.
No degradation after it goes through that process again.
It may look as easy as just putting a bigger bed on it, but there's so much more to it than what the people think. Because now the rails, you have to be fully supported throughout the whole way. The old rail styles would have drooped in the center as soon as you start to expand it out.
Sure.
The sheer mass of the bed itself starts to add on, and a single motor isn't able to produce that way. So we went down to 2-to-1 gear reduction in the back end to supply that extra torque of the motor so we don't skip steps.
Yeah, there's a little more to it than just a big bed, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and just supporting it the entire way so that we have a consistent first layer across the whole thing was a big struggle that we went through. But once we got it printing out, it's working great. The companies are loving it. They're using it in their production, and it's really an overall great product. Plus, it's an add-on.
Okay.
If you have the Taz Pro already, you pull off your old bed, you throw on this one, reflash firmware, and you're good to go.
Okay.
So it's not a whole machine that you have to buy. You can upgrade your existing Taz Pro to get the long bed on it.
Gotcha.
Do you know anything about it?
I do, but they might not.
Okay, so Obsidian is our abrasive resistant nozzle. The main goal with this was to make it print at the same sort of temperatures as a brass nozzle. So it's a copper carrier here. We've got a hardened steel tip, and then it's DLC coated, which is a diamond-like carbon, and that adds two things: extra hardness, and also a reduced stick property, so it prevents plastic buildup.
Nice.
And you can use brass brushes now with it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So sort of all the best things all wrapped up into one nozzle, essentially.
Yeah.
So you've got the heat conductance. You've got the abrasion resistance, you've got the non-stick coating, and basically it all just comes in a, right now, Revo specific, right?
Revo specific, V6 and Volcano are coming in the next couple of weeks.
Very soon. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing what we can for the environment is important to us, so we adopted cardboard spools 7 or 8 years ago now.
Long time, yeah.
Designed our own to solve that problem.
Excellent.
And we also recycle our own post-industrial waste into new products.
Okay.
So instead of putting it in the dumpster, we turn it into unique colors or black that we can't recreate again because the waste stock is unique.
Sure.
But still beautiful.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you guys are like the kings of beautiful filament. I don't know how you master the extrusion of such high amounts of glitter in material, but it's amazing and it flows perfectly. It doesn't clog. So I'm a fan personally. And yes, the cardboard spools, you've kind of evolved those over time a little bit. And it's been neat to see that happen. So awesome. Also, thank you for recycling your Christmas trees every year.
You're welcome, and I'm glad it's fun for everyone else as well.
It's great. It's great. Awesome.
Smells so good, right?
So some of my tags are Luke's Lab, and otherwise I'm lukeslabonline.com is really my address.
Right on. Okay. Well, you brought a machine that looks like a tank. So tell us about the StableBot.
Sure. So this originally started, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. Originally started as a bigger tool changer. E3D created their tool changer, but it was only 200 by 300. I said, but more.
More, yeah.
And so that's something that's core to its identity today. It comes in 3 different configurations right now, so you can have a single tool IDEX or Cartesian, a dual IDEX system here, but it always retains a space in the back for a tool changer system if you want it.
Okay.
I guess the other core feature is that with the same plate design that we have here, you can build it as small as this machine, which is actually my smallest build of this platform.
Wow. Okay.
Or up to 1,000 millimeters. So here's the representative gantry for a 700 by 700 build frame. So that's why some of the things maybe look comically oversized for this small of a platform, but the idea is keeping the same components so we can
Scaling it up.
Yep. So as long as you change the extrusion and the rails, you can get whatever platform you need. And that's kind of the specialty is if a customer wants to come out with a really long and really weird shape, that's something that we can accommodate.
Okay.
So otherwise, we're trying to keep everything to an open platform as much as we can, so we're using common off-the-shelf components. So in the case that, hey, today we're at a trade show and a customer needs a new part, like, hey, you can buy an orbiter from any vendor out there and get it next door. We're not trying to keep things proprietary.
Excellent, excellent. So, you're kind of stealing the show with the 600 by 600
Sorry, not sorry.
Boron. Yeah, no apologies necessary. But yeah, so give us the story. What's going on with this big
So this machine
Boron?
was built in 2017 as part of MZBot, my company. So Boron design is always, Boron project has always been open source, but for a number of years it was under the tutelage of my 3D printer company, MZBot,
Yep.
which is why we stole the logo from it.
Sure.
When the company went bye-bye. So the printer was built as a custom printer for a client in Minneapolis.
Okay.
Their spec was, we need to print something that's 24 by 24 inches, basically.
Sure.
So that's the spec for the machine.
Nice.
At some point,
this was the original print head?
That's the original print head, correct.
Nice. Okay.
Because their thing was they wanted to do multi-material.
Okay.
So,
all right.
I gave them multi-material.
Now
I gave them the best version of multi-material you could get in 2017.
Okay, right, yeah.
Eventually, the machine kind of ended up in a warehouse and then ended up at a house of a guy that used to run the machine. And then he basically said, hey, what can I do with it? And I said, I will trade you a fully built V2.4.
Nice.
For this.
Yeah.
And I pay for shipping.
Okay.
So it got back on a pallet and got transported back to California.
Okay.
And then it sat at my shop for about a year. And eventually Steve said, hey, I'm driving to Colorado in the van. You want to bring V24?
Right.
And I said, let me rebuild it first.
Not without some extra work.
Yeah, and then that launched me into a complete rebuild of the machine. The only thing that are left are the side panels that I couldn't get through Senkan because they were too big.
Okay.
And the frame.
Nice.
Everything else is brand new.
It's all new.
Yep.
So it is really an entirely new machine.
So this is the R2 of V24.
Okay, and this is something that is going to be published on your website?
We are slating to release this December, January timeframe. It won't be called V24. This is just a motion test platform for us. There will be some extra bells and whistles, so keep your eye open basically for it. But that's the plan for us.
Very cool. Very cool.
The actual show it's going to get fully unveiled as a fully done machine is Sanjay Monamar RMRRF Festival in UK.
Smurf. Okay.
We haven't quite figured out how we're going to get something like this to UK.
Right.
But we're working on it.
That'll be a fun logistical challenge.
Yeah.